Hello, fellow traders. Marc Abramsky for Forex Undress. As I promised you, I was going to give you a couple of indicators. The first one is Sidus V2. I actually know the guy who made this particular indicator, and yes, it's a freebie. It just simply works. Okay, that's the point. That's why I'm giving it to you in correlation with these other lines, which are basically all your daily supports, your weekly supports area, your daily pivot areas, your weekly pivot areas, monthly pivot areas. You can see they're all drawn on the chart for you by using this indicator. Once again, it's a freebie. There's no magic behind it. Okay, you can find it in your code base, except most of the ones over here in your code base, where you can find most of your indicators, which are right here, are useless. Okay, so you have to know the ones that actually do work for you. Okay, the whole point of the system is you are going to trade it in the European or US sessions in most cases. You can use it on any timeline. The M1, which is up here, your timelines, all the way up to the monthlies if you want. And the idea here, I like to use it on the 4-hour with most financial instruments, and I also like to use it on the 1-hour, but I usually don't go down any lower. What's nice about this whole system is that it keeps you out of trades that are basically nothing more than market noise. And what you're waiting to do is to sort of line up. There has to be a number of technical areas where everything lines up. For example, when the price moves back after you get a signal, which is right here where the blue arrow pops up, and yes, they do repaint, so that's why you have to wait for the pullback before. You don't want to jump in at the top, because that's what most traders do. This is oil, so it's very volatile. You want to basically wait until price comes back and meets the moving averages right here, or moves and also meets a daily support area or a weekly support area, or really close to it, which is something that gives you some sort of backing, to the trade. Why would you bother getting into it? Well, it's just a parameter. Okay, so if you're wrong, you set your stop slightly below this blue candle, and then you let your profits run equal the distance to whatever your stop is, or perhaps even more, from the 4-hour time frame. That as you can see, you can get a very, very nice move. It's not straight down, obviously it chops around, but you can, nice thing about this particular indicator is it doesn't signal even when you get a break above its line, like some moving averages. It keeps you out of taking foolish trades. So that's the whole idea. The signal is here. The stop loss is below the blue, just below the blue arrow. If price pulls back, then you're out of the trade, and you're waiting for the pullback after the signal. So in other words, after it gives you a signal, so just so it doesn't repaint, you're going to wait for a period of time, especially on the 4-hour, or the daily, or the weekly, or the monthly, where it's not so clear to see these particular weekly resistance, daily resistance, but it is, you can still see them on the dailies. The point of it is you can even use it on the 1-hour. Now the currency pairs, or the financial instruments that I would trade it with most, are over here. Like I would trade the euro with it because it's not very volatile, or it's not extremely volatile exactly. Where when it pulls back, it generally doesn't keep running against you because of a price spike, like gold or oil, or some of those Great Britain pound, Japanese yen, where those are all very volatile and can spike around all over the place. So it's probably best to use this with the euro. As you see here, I've got a sell limit up here, but that's for a very different order. Or the franc, you can also time a trade. You see here it's pulling back. We had the signal yesterday in relation to the Fed's release of information, but once again, it had already sort of priced this into the market. So there has to be a little bit of fundamental knowledge, and I was expecting a move down by the US dollar, or in other words, a collapse of the US dollar, because really there was no reason for this pulse above. I mean, Yellen didn't really say anything that was. However, if you're following the system, this is roughly almost where you would take the trade, and you would be looking for a move back up, once again, because the weekly pivot is here, the daily support is here. So once again, you could conceivably take a trade. I would go very small here on this one, and let's say, because I sincerely believe that there's still more downside, I would just simply take a smaller based upon the size of the account. I would enter in here, and you can see here that if I'm wrong, I get out slightly behind the blue candle. If I'm right, hopefully it will return to the top, so I don't think that's going to happen. I suspect I'll probably be more wrong here on this particular trade. So in most normal circumstances, I would take it, but knowing the fundamentals the way I know them right now, I would stay out of that, and once again, if you subscribe to my signals, you'll know the same things that I do around these. You can see the stop losses for the positioning of where most traders jumped in after the news, which is up here, are here. So probably you're going to get a price down to the monthly support here. at least, maybe even further, where the buy limit is down here. We could see that over the next couple of days. So, but once again, that's the nature of the system. You would take the trade here where you risk to reward. Obviously, you want to be buying the dips in the US dollar, which is a reflection of the US dollar franc. So that's how the system works. You know, and that's once again how the systems combine, and those two indicators work together. They're very powerful. Both of them are leading indicators. They'll keep you in the direction of the overall trend. Obviously, the higher the time frame, the better if you're using Sidus. But once again, it is a type of moving average that you're using price action as your key. So, but once again, you can see the power of how price is moving down, and you have to take that into consideration seriously, okay? And there's a fundamental reason for it. So anyway, that is the two indicators that have been provided to you. I hope you experience them and trade them well like I do. And don't forget, you always want to be trading the pullback, and if it doesn't reach your moving average, well, then don't take the trade. You know, in other words, if it doesn't get as close to this particular blue arrow as possible, don't enter into the trade, okay? Don't take it up here. Wait for the pullback, and even if price runs away on you, so what? There's always other trades, okay? So have a good day, and I hope you enjoy using those. I'm going to show you more on how to use these indicators over time. So we'll talk to you soon. Hello, fellow traders. Marc Abramsky from Forex Undress. I just was wanting to bring you up here on the buy signal off the Sidus and daily support areas. You can see it certainly seems to be the right thing to do, contrary to my opinion at the time, which is why a systematic approach is sometimes the right thing to do. You can see here it still may come down, but anyway, you're up approximately I'd say roughly almost 20 pips, you know, from the opening. So that's a pretty good move from the moving average here. Well, time will tell whether or not it will hold. In a situation like that, once you're up 20-30 pips, you probably bring your stop up to break even. So that way, if it comes back down, you can perhaps maybe even re-enter again at lower, or you just simply call that trade and you look for a better type of an opening or a type of trading opportunity. Once again, you're looking to line it up with Zmfx, which is the weekly pivot or daily support. Preferably, as I said, you know, the moving average support area here, which we took the trade off to begin with. We just simply want to protect our trade now. Once again, the stop is here. And that is basically it for the Sidus Zmfx 2 pivot leading indicator combination that you've been provided. So have yourself a fantastic day.